Hello friends, I hope this reaches you well. Chelsea Collie here. I just wanted to go live with a message while I had the chance real quick. I hope this reaches you well. It is Saturday evening. I don't even know the date right now. I don't even know the date. But hope you're having a good weekend. It's a good weekend. I actually got to have lunch with some friends today. And Jackson's just chilling, and my husband's about to come home, so just wanted to make a quick video while I had the chance. I barely ever get the chance to make videos recently and over the past couple weeks. It's been pretty hectic, and my Aunt Marie was sick, and I went to see her. I got to visit her a couple times, and she was had taken a turn for the worse, and she ended up passing while I was in Kansas. But she ended up passing. It was only a couple hours after I had seen her, so I think within the next 2 to 4 hours or something after I said goodbye to her, I left her house at it was probably about midnight, and she died that night over the next couple hours in her sleep. So that was a good thing, and I guess our family was kind of preparing for that. She was not my grandma, she was my grandma's sister. So she was my Aunt Marie, and rest her soul. She was an amazing person, and she was so ready to see this happen. She was so ready to see Mr. T come back and all the lies be revealed, and it just kept dragging on and on and on, and she got the C word, and they had given her 6 months to live, and she made it longer than that, so that's good. But she was able to go peacefully at home, so that was positive. And she was 79. She lived a long, happy life, and just a beautiful soul. So I love you, Aunt Marie. And the last thing I had asked, I was like, Mom, will you come in and help her transition, because my mom has passed, and that was her niece. And I felt like my mom was already in the process of helping her go. And as I was driving there, because she lives in Oklahoma, and it was ended up being like a 10-hour drive with all my stops, but I felt like her soul had already left her body, kind of, in a way, because I felt like her soul was roaming about, and probably, like I said, making preparations, on the transition to heaven or afterlife, or wherever it is that we go. We can call it heaven. So, and I also drove to Kansas, and I visited some family. And then that night was so she died the morning of Trump's speech. And then he spoke, she died in the wee hours of the morning, early that morning. And then he spoke that night. And that was tough. I don't know if anybody felt the energy, but it was pretty thick, heavy energy that day. And I know that a lot of people had a pretty bad reaction as a result. A lot of us truthers, that we just wanted something. We wanted Mr. T to give us something concrete, but we found out later that the message wasn't for us. Actually, Mr. T's speech was really for normies or sheeple, or just people that are watching mainstream media and perhaps believing the lies about Orange Man bad, and that was showing a different side of Mr. T. And I think when you look at it that way, you know, it makes things make sense, because I know people who have been on this path for 20 years or more. And like, for example, the one person that I talked to was around like a couple weeks after the first 17 post. And so she's been going at this a long time, you know, it's been over 5 years now. And everybody has had to fight their own battles along the way. Everybody's had their own personal things that personal battles they've had to fight. And separations have happened. Families have split up. Like, there's a lot of things that have happened. I'm going to turn this off. Who's home? Is Daddy home? Yeah! Yay!
You miss me that much.
Oh, he must have missed you a lot.
I think someone happy sees that.
I'm doing a video, honey. So that's the situation, and like I said, I was traveling, and now I got home, and I have a upcoming interview on Tuesday with Steven Tenner. And I should probably look and see. I wonder if I can look while I'm so our interview with Steven Tenner, he's driving the Sheepnesia bus, and our interview with him is November 22nd at 2 p.m. Central Time. And he's going to catch us up on what he's up to as his tour continues after Troop Tour 2. He's still going. But I named this video Life Detox because I feel like because I'm doing a detox right now, and I'm on day 2 of 3 days. I feel like I'm on like a life detox too. Or I feel like this whole last 2.5 years, for a lot of us that have woken up over this last 2.5 years, it's been kind of a life detox. Like, do you think that with your life too? Because it's like, we're not just ridding ourselves of, you know, like toxins within our body, but we're also ridding ourselves of friendships that no longer serve us. And, you know, we're making a conscious effort to work on our shadow work and to heal our wounds and to bring healing, you know, to what we are triggered by. We're paying more attention to our triggers. So it's like this whole last 2.5 years has been, hey Keith, absolutely detoxing. Absolutely. I mean, we've been going through a heavy detox over the past 2.5 years. So to do a 3-day detox today, I'm feeling pretty crappy, you know, and tomorrow's day 3, but I mean, that's not too long, right? We'll talk about it later, buddy. But one of the things I'm getting right now is my ankles are swollen again, and they're almost swelling up like they were when I was pregnant. It's something called pitting edema, and when you push on it and it stays in, that's pitting edema. So I'm getting pitting edema on my ankles again, but it also has to do with driving for the long periods of time, you know, because I was driving, like one day I drove for 10 hours, and then I drove another 4 hours, and then 2 days later I drove pretty much 12 hours, and that was like the day before yesterday. So just having my foot in that position too. So I'm going through detox and swollen. My ankles are swollen. I actually slept with the bed because I have a bed that you can move like the top and the bottom, and I slept with the bed, the top was like that. It was like all the way up, and I slept like that. And still, I mean, I still had the pitting edema in the morning. It wasn't as swollen, but it's kind of hard to walk a little bit too. It feels like my skin is just so tight. It's like starting to be a little hard to walk, and I'm kind of worried because it should be going away at this point or getting better, and I feel like it's getting worse, which is not good. but then I think of Liz, and Liz is like over 9 months pregnant, and she's past her due date now, and she's got to have a lot of swelling going on. So more power to you, Liz, and sending you lots of love. I know she's got to be super uncomfortable right now. It's pretty uncomfortable when you're that pregnant, and I only made it to 8 months. So, I really don't have a say in that because we had to deliver early with me. But yeah, I'm glad that you see the analogy with the detox, and I think it's kind of sucks and you feel crappy for a while, and we're having to like sit in our pain more and try to like learn from our pain. And if we can start to learn some of these lessons, then we can stop having to repeat some of these same mistakes. So I think that's just the analogy of, a life detox right now. And I think we've all been there. And perhaps you have friends that you've just distanced yourself from. You guys are not talking anymore. And maybe you miss them. Like, yeah, I miss some of my friends. But then again, I'm like, I worked so hard to maintain those friendships for so long, over so many years. And it's like, what happens if I stop calling them? Are we just not friends anymore? And yeah, that's what happened. Like, I started speaking out. I stopped calling them. Doesn't seem like we're friends anymore. I don't know. Maybe we are. Maybe they're just forgetting to invite me or, ask how I'm doing or anything like that. But that's what we needed, right? We needed this space, this healing space, to have these spiritual growth moments where we are just growing, And if you're not learning and you're not growing, then you're stagnant. And stagnant is dying. So we're going through the growing pains. And Keith says, most of my family didn't believe what I told them for the last 2.5 years. It's been tough, but learning lessons for me. So where are they now? Like, should we call and check in with some of these people? Like, I'm feeling like I should pick up the phone and be like, so do you still believe all this crap? But then, that conversation doesn't sound like it's going to go over well. But like, if we've been saying all these things that have actually happened, and saying about the communism, about the censorship, and about the thing, and now they're seeing it, shouldn't they start to be coming around? I think I guess I'll just let them handle it in their own ways. It's like everybody's waking up at their own speed. So who am I to try to like rush their process or anything like that? That's why I just kept my distance. And I think you guys have kept your distance for your own well-being and for the well-being of your family. So I commend you for those of you who've had to step away from family. It's been really hard, and it's hard for all of us. You said they made their choice at the time. They knew where I am. Yeah. Yep, everybody's made their choice, and we're all having to deal with the what do you call it? The repercussions, the effects of those choices. So, I know if some of you have some sick family members or people that have died, or cancer or anything like that's coming back, like just sending lots of love to everybody. I want to send love and healing light and divine source light to you and your friends and your family. And I just pray that we can all just continue to help up-level ourselves and overcome our triggers, heal our triggers, and just keep leveling up. Because once we keep doing this and we unite together in strength and love and unity, that is where the answers, that's where the real magic happens. And that's what ascension is. So I've always known it was my purpose to help people unite in love. And I feel like it's one of my biggest gifts is connecting people together. So if we can connect in love, that is the answer. So connecting in love with you, and I hope we can all connect in love together, sending you love and light, boundless love and light, and have a great rest of your weekend, and stay strong. You got this. Bye, friends. We'll see you later. You can connect with me on all of my social media at chelseacollie360.com. Thank you, Keith. I appreciate you so much. Much love. Bye, everybody.